What does it take to take 11 lives and never draw any suspicion? Police never thought of him. No one suspected this man. But he took 11 lives, one by one. A serial killer that was caught by accident. So let's start right away from the events of that night. It was the day after the New Year's, the 1st of January 2024. A 50-year-old woman was working her night shift at the flower shop, when suddenly she heard the glass breaking outside. The woman, whose name is not disclosed, she went outside to check what's going on. There she saw a man, and he said that he was chasing two drug addicts, and he saw how they broke the glass in the neighboring shop and were trying to steal something. So the woman obviously knew the owner of that neighboring shop, and she called him. The neighbor asked her to keep an eye on the shop, and at first she refused, and she even said, "Do you want me to get killed here?" But then she agreed to tape down the windows and to keep an eye on the shop until he will arrive, and he said he will arrive by morning. A man who was chasing the drug addicts, and we will call him by his surname, Hamidov, proposed his help to a woman. He stood next to her while she was sealing the broken glass, and he was asking different questions, like, "When will your neighbor arrive?" And the woman said that he will only arrive by morning, so she needs to seal those windows. He proposed her a drink, and she declined. He proposed again, and she declined again very politely. The woman said that she doesn't consume alcohol drinks, and he was very surprised by that information. He understood that she doesn't want to spend time with him, and he left. In 2024, there was already a full-scale war in Kyiv, and the curfew hour was in place. So when the curfew hour arrived, the woman didn't close the shop. She just turned off the lights and continued to take orders from the customers. In the middle of the night, she heard a knock on the door, and she saw a man standing there, Hamidov. He was telling her that he forgot his scarf somewhere in her shop when he was helping her. He asked her to let him in so he can look for his scarf. The woman didn't suspect anything, and she opened the door. He attacked her immediately. He stabbed the woman 30 times. Once he finished, he took her phone, gold jewelry, phone charger, money from the cash register, basically everything he could, and he left. Her body was discovered the next morning at 8 a.m. Later, during the investigation, it became clear that Hamidov planned this murder. It wasn't an accident. But he didn't notice one thing, the CCTV camera that was outside the shop. And thanks to that camera, police was able to release the photo of the suspect, leading to his arrest the next day. And the suspect turned out to be 38-year-old citizen of Uzbekistan, Tavakal Urinovich Hamidov, who was arrested on the 3rd of January 2024. So the police started interrogation, and they initially thought that this was a robbery that gone wrong. He wanted to rob a woman, something went wrong, and he killed her. But police had no idea who are they dealing with. During the interrogation, he confessed on the murder of this woman, but he started confessing more. It wasn't his first victim, and it wasn't even his 5th victim. In total, he killed 11 people. He calmly confessed to all of the details of the murder of this woman and all other murders. He actively participated in the recreation of his crimes. He helped the police. He told everything in details, but he said that he was acting in the order of the voices in his head. So he was trying to play insane, but the police wasn't having it. But that's not it. Hamidov actually confessed to 17 murders, but 6 of them were committed while he was living in Moscow. Since the interrogation happened in the middle of the Russian-Ukrainian war, Ukrainian investigators were unable to verify or investigate anything happened in Russia. So they decided to act on the 11 cases that happened on the territory of Ukraine and that they can investigate and can prove. Hamidov was born on the 13th of September 1986. In Uzbekistan. He described his childhood as deeply troubled. According to Hamidov, his father was an alcoholic and he failed to protect him from abuse at the hands of older brothers and other relatives, and he said that he even was sexually abused by an older man in his village. As he grew older, he became increasingly detached from school, and he always gravitated towards groups of petty criminals on the streets. In 2005, seeking work opportunities, he moved to Moscow, and that's where his first murders, according to him, happened. First documented murder that Hamidov confessed to took place in early 2000s in Moscow, and that's what he confessed to himself. Then he had a lot of deportation. He was deported back to Uzbekistan, and then he decided to illegally cross the border of Ukraine, where he was also deported back to Uzbekistan, and he crossed the border again and again illegally. Eventually, he decided to move to the city of Kharkiv. This is a very large city on the border with Russia. And he joined the local community of the immigrants and blended in very well. They helped him with the job, they helped him with accommodations. So he quickly integrated very well. He shared a small room with another fellow from Uzbekistan. And that's when everything went even more troubled for him. In winter 2018, they had a conflict. Allegedly, Hamidov proposed a sexual relationship to his fellow and was denied. The rejection angered him, but that's all allegedly. So when his fellow fell asleep, Hamidov took an axe and killed his body with an axe. He burned the murder weapon, he burned all the documents he had in his house, and he fled to Kiev. He thought it would be easier to disappear in the capital, and it was. He became homeless, he slept on the streets, he took drugs. By then he killed twice and got away with that. And that success fueled him. So August 2019, Hamidov was hanging out with his new acquaintance and he decided to beat the man, killing him in the process. Then he covered the body with a blanket and fled the area. He got away with that either. Just 1 month later, in September 2019, he saw a man on the street. Hamidov started following that man, and when he realized he doesn't have any witnesses, Hamidov decided to attack him with a brick he found on the ground and killed him too. And he also got away with that. In January 2020, Hamidov befriended 3 homeless men, a father and 2 sons. They had a conflict, and when they all fell asleep, Hamidov decided to do what he used to do. He decided to kill them. He waited until all of them fell asleep and strangled all of them one by one with the belt. Oh, and he robbed them. He took the equivalent of $1. $1. Just to be clear. It wasn't for money. It was just some kind of sick game for him. No argument, no provocation. He simply waited until they were asleep and helpless. That was his style. In 2021, he struck again. He was getting away with all of those murders, so he was feeling lucky. He saw a man on the street and he decided he wanted to rob him. So he took a brick from the ground and he attacked the man. And he stole the equivalent of $100 and a phone. He was about to finish him, but someone interrupted. Someone walked out of the door nearby and he was scared. Hamidov got scared and he ran away. And that's how the only victim of Hamidov survived. The police treated it as robbery and it was never really investigated. Later, Hamidov was arrested, but not for a murder, for a stolen car. And he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. But listen to this. He got away. Just after 11 months, he was released on probation. June 2023, he was walking past a metro station and he saw a homeless woman sitting there. And she didn't mind having a picnic with him. So they were having picnic, drinking vodka, and somewhere around that time, he decided to have sex with her. And in the process of that, he strangled the woman. When he was asked for a motive, he couldn't give it. He just didn't know. A month later, he killed again. He just met a man and he decided he wanted to kill him at the gas station. Just a few days later, he saw a woman on the street. He offered to show her the quickest route, instead luring her into an unfinished building nearby, where he strangled the woman to death. Then he stole her money and several small items before he dragged the body inside one of the rooms of the building. Hamidov then laid out the body on the floor, turned it to face him, tried to undress it and have sex with it, but he wasn't able to. He then took a sheet and blanket from his backpack, laid the corpse next to him, and slept with it until the early hours of the morning. And then came the January 2024 and the flower show. If it's not for the CCTV camera in the flower show, who knows how many more people he would kill. Since Hamidov said he was killing by the order of the voices in his head, he went to psychiatric evaluation. Psychiatrists said that he was sane and he knew what he was doing. Investigators also found inconsistencies in his voices story, because one time he said that the voices were female and the other time he said that there were male voices in his head. The court concluded that he understood his actions. Over 6 years, he murdered 3 women and 8 men. He attempted to kill 1 more. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. According to some reports, after the trial, he told his lawyer that he didn't feel guilty. Despite his confessions, he didn't feel the guilt. And all of those years, he was walking the streets of Kiev unnoticed. And that's how a CCTV camera exposed a serial killer. Be careful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.